7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 282. I'm your host, Travis. Thank you all for tuning in here. We're back. We were at the race here this weekend. We saw some things. We heard some things. We saw a lot. So, thanks everybody for tuning in studio with me today. Justin's back. I know a lot of you have been asking about him. Have you seen it? There were comments last week's show.
That's cool.
They were like, Doug is great, but we need Justin back.
That's cool.
So Justin's back. And you're back for Vegas SMX too?
Yeah, I should be back for at least the last round.
Vegas SMX.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he'll be off for a few weeks here, boys and girls, but he will be back. All right. So before we jump into this, we're going to wrap up Ironman in the season and talk a couple of things here during the Complete Racing Solutions halftime report. We just want to run down the sponsors here. So first up, like I said, Complete Racing Solutions. We'll talk more about them when we get to the halftime report. We got Worx on board, Flo Racing, TLR Coatings, Holster Co., Issac Nelson Designs, all on board with us. If you guys want some t-shirts or anything, there's a merch shelf down below here if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're listening to the audio, you can go to YouTube there. And actually, I believe there's a link in the description below, too, where you can get t-shirts if you want to. Also, over on YouTube, we got the members area where, like I said, for just 99 cents per month, you guys will be able to, starting in the 2025 season. And honestly, probably I'll start doing some a little bit of members-only exclusive live feeds through the off season here. Once we get outside of everything, you guys will get exclusive early access, aka live recordings of the show. So members starting in 2025 for sure, and probably, like I said, through some of the off season here, we'll be live streaming the show where members can watch it and rewatch it actually a day early. Earlier until I get it out for the actual full thing. And that starts at just 99 cents. Shout out, we do have one member, RC something, I think, signed up this week here. At least that's what I saw before we left for the weekend. So shout out to you. Sorry, I don't have your exact name. But thanks for joining the members area. Anyway, okay, let's get started here. So we're in the TLR Coatings Studios, so make sure to check them out for all your custom powder coating and Cerakoting needs. Sorry, I'm rubbing my face like this. I'm trying not to sneeze right now, which isn't going well. Freaking allergies. So anyway, okay. Let's jump right into this. This show is probably going to be a little shorter like they normally are after we get back from the races because we're kind of burnt out. So, and for all of you who watched which I don't even know, I haven't even looked at that, the reaction show yesterday, the title of I'm Cooked was totally talking about me because we were actually both cooked yesterday after the race. So we got out of there pretty quick. We did a really short reaction show there. It was only like 6 minutes. So thank you to anybody who watched that. And like I said, we're going to try to get you a little bit more information here. But these race weekends, since we're not into a pattern and flow where we're going every single weekend, are just a little bit more exhaustive for us than sitting around watching the race on the couch. So all right, let's jump into this here. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. If you need any exterior modifications to your house or business and you live in the Southwest Michigan area, make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. They just fixed my fascia and soffit and my gutters on my house. Did a great job. Looks great. Everything's cool. So make sure to check them out. All right. So Sexton goes 1-1, stamps his 450 motocross championship season.
Not without some issues leading out throughout the weekend, but man, he still just proved, like, dude, his cardio's on point. When he wants to sprint away, like, he's just got all these dudes on lock, like, you know, and it was funny too, because, you know, as you were too, video, but like I was bouncing around and stuff, and like, yeah, obviously you get in, you know, mid moto and, you know, you're paying attention, but you can obviously hear chatter around, like, people around you.
Yes.
And, you know, and I've obviously had heard this for a few weeks now, but like people, the last couple weeks, because we've now realized that Chase he's very calculated in about he goes out about these races. Like, he's obviously learned from the battle with Tomac in 2022. He learned from racing Jet last year. He's learned from Supercross. He's still making and I like to call them chaseisms, where he's just not analyzing things. He's just reacting, which is fine. Like, it's going to happen. Everybody does. Nobody's immune to it. But, like, there's the people that, especially yesterday, they're like, man, like, how come Chase isn't pulling away from AP? How's it? I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, guys, Chase is doing just enough to sit back there, conserve energy. It was hotter yesterday. It was one of the hottest rounds we've had in a while.
Yep.
And then we seen that when he wanted to pull the trigger, AP is not an issue for him.
Nope.
He went around him like he was standing still, would sprint away, and then he would just wear AP out. He wore everybody out. Like, he just walked away from him.
He did.
But it's like, dude, like, he's doing the exact same thing Jet did last year. Like, he's sitting back there watching these dudes, pulls the trigger when the opportune time, gets a little bit of a gap, and then he just manages. And that's what Chase has been doing for a while now. Like, he's been managing these motos. It's like the days of Chase outside of that, and really he settled in after he built a huge gap that second moto at Unadilla. The days of Chase trying to go 100%, he's realized that's not smart.
Doesn't work.
And you know what? And once again, Chase is still making those little mistakes. He stalled in the second moto, got a little bit loose. But, like, all the credit to him, he's finally figured out how to harness that speed that he has.
Yep.
And I'm not going to take any... Like, dude, he doesn't need to win by 35 seconds. Like, I'm sure that if he wanted to, he could go out there and win by 35 seconds with no problem. But he's doing what Jet did. And he's doing what Eli has done later on in his career. So it's like, I'm not going to knock him because he didn't blow the doors off AP yesterday. Like, I don't care. If Chase is winning...
He handily won those races yesterday.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There were people, I could just hear him. I'm just like, the people are like, man, he's not really pulling away from... I'm like, guys, to see how easy he passed him?
Yeah.
AP's not a problem for Chase.
Yep.
So, like, just... I don't have a problem with the way he's winning these races. We pretty much saw that second moto Unadilla. When Chase wants to yard everyone, he can yard everyone.
Do you have a problem with, I saw this online post yesterday, do you have a problem with him calling both Redbud and Ironman his home tracks?
I mean, if you want to talk about proximity, he's not wrong. But if you want to talk about the actual real home track, it's Redbud. Because he rode...
Yeah. I would consider Redbud more so his home track because he read there.
Proximity
but
thing.
yeah, but I mean, he's from Illinois. He's literally, I think, pretty close to in the middle of the two. So, okay, great. He calls them both home races. He's got tons of fans.
No, I don't have a
both,
problem with that. I mean, whatever. No, not at all.
It's just like this be Indy and whatever being AP's home race because he's from Ohio. Okay.
But AP rode at Redbud more than he did at Ironman. He probably did a lot of GNCCs at Ironman.
Well, I'm just saying.
But,
so, speaking of AP, he goes 2-2 for second on the day. He was, dude.
He's good.
I told you this yesterday when we were there. Every time I saw AP riding, I was like, dude, he is flying.
Yeah, he's going fast.
He is flying. Like, I don't even... Here's the thing, though, is that I don't want to be like, oh, he took a step, right? Because...
You might have, though.
I think he's moved up in the order of second group guys, but I think he's still a second group guy. Like, I don't think he's taken that step where he's going to go up there with Chase and Jet and I guess Hunter sometimes. And
I mean, dude, he keeps riding like this. AP might actually insert himself where it's just him and Hunter now all the time.
It's impressive though because we were kind of on the thing of like, man, we think his moto career is winding down. Like we keep hearing these rumors that KTM kind of wants to move him into the off-road side of things, blah blah blah. And then he comes out, has a year like this, and looks the way he does, and it's like, oh, maybe not. I don't know. So.
Yeah. My biggest thing that I want to see moving forward, and we're going to see an SMX, and I think he's just going to be just as good moving into 2025, is we obviously know at one point he had the red plate in Supercross. He was leading the points. We're like, holy shit, is like AP actually going to run this down to the wire? And then he fell off.
Yep.
But we've seen him in the past being able to run it down in outdoors for almost the entire season. There was just a couple years that he got hurt, and it wasn't, it was just dumb luck or whatever. Or not dumb luck, but like just bad luck.
Yep.
I want to see him push it through all the way through Supercross. Because if you can tell me that he can ride like this all the way through Supercross next year, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is true.
This is finally, like, AP is finally becoming who we've... Because in Supercross, speed has also never been his issue. Like, he was really fast at times this year in Supercross.
Yes.
I mean, how many times after qualifying was he, like, 12th, and we're like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's run out. And then he goes on and wins the heat race, and we're like, never mind.
Okay.
So I want to see him be able to run it down to the wire in Supercross, because if he can do that... you kind of got to look at AP as like, yeah, like he might lead the second tier group of guys, whoever those guys are going into 2025.
I don't want to jump too high on any of this because we're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Jet hasn't been here since the third round.
Jet's not the second. But Jet's not the second tier guy though.
No,
AP. So like,
but it doesn't matter because to me, it's like, okay, if you get Jet in there and say he's first most of the time, I'm not even gonna say all the time. Let's just say most of the time. It kind of shuffles everybody back, and then all of a sudden, like AP right now, yeah, he looks really, really good, and he's kind of clearly made himself the second guy here these last few rounds. But if you shuffle him back and then you get like into the earlier in the season, like when Jet was around, for example, and now you're talking like he's maybe getting thirds for the most part, he's run around fourth, fifth, whatever. The viewpoint from us moto guys changes then a little bit because it's like fourth and fifth is still great, but it's still like, you want to tell me that Jason Anderson's season was fucking stellar outdoors? And
honestly, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
And he's averaging like right around fifth place. I mean, there's just the stigma.
I think it was
moto
better.
people were super top heavy, so
It was better than I thought it was. I mean, Anderson had an Anderson type outdoor season, so like I don't really have a problem
I'm just
with it.
saying, I'm like, I think I don't want to pour too much into this until we see when we put Jet back into the equation here.
Yeah.
Then I'll start going by Chase is really taking a step. I'll go by AP's really taking a step. Like you said too, the Supercross thing. Like AP's always been better outdoors. We all know this. So yeah, if we get into Supercross and he's doing things like this, okay, cool. Then that makes things more interesting. But I got to see it.
Yeah.
So it was a good year for him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Great Supercross season. Great outdoor season. Cool. Same thing with Chase. Congratulations on winning that 450 title. It's cool. Now you've got an indoor and an outdoor one. That's awesome. But until I see these guys do this against Jet, I'm kind of just like waiting to see like, okay, how does this really shake out here? You know, because I mean, let's face it. We came out of Supercross where Jet had gone 24-0, then wins the SMX, then wins the Supercross title. And we basically at the end of Supercross, we basically at the end of the Paula at round one, we're all like, fuck, it's going to get boring here. Like, this is about to, like, the whole everything, every series we're in is about to be boring. Then, of course, Jet gets hurt, and then it's like, oh, okay. Then things started to get a little more interesting. Now he's been out. Okay, it's been much more interesting in that fact. But I'm like, I cannot, especially being a Jet guy, I cannot forget, like, bro, up until that crash at Hangtown, we all were like, shit, this is going to be boring. Like, we're just watching this kid run away with things. So, like I said, I want to put Jet back in the equation and then see how things shake out. If we come out in SMX and these guys are all giving it to Jet like this, and it's like, you never kind of know who's going to win, okay, cool, then maybe. But I gotta see it.
I think as far as SMX goes, I think that there's only a few people that if you want to use your words, give it to Jet, that are probably going to give it to Jet. I think Sexton's going to beat him. I said that on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Hunter, and we'll get to Hunter, because I think Hunter just might have more issues going into SMX after the way he rode yesterday, that second moto. And then I think the only other guys you can really look at is like where Eli's going to be, where's Coop going to be, and Kenny. But like as far as giving it to Jet, I think it's just going to be Chase. That's like the only person I can look at that's going to just give it to Jet. Everybody else, like, I mean, I don't know. I think everybody else is just going to be where they're at.
Okay. Well, speaking of being where they're at, so Tomac comes out, goes 4-3 for third. Okay, so the real big talk here is, does this ride get him on designations?
I stand by, even after having now not 24 hours, but like a night's sleep and half a day or morning or whatever to process it. I still stand by what I said yesterday on the reaction show. I think Eli needs to go to MX of Nations. It's not a knock on AP. AP had a great fucking year. In any other year would probably deserve it, but this is Eli. And I think you got to factor more in, just not with rides. Like, hey, Eli next year has already come out that 2025 is going to be his last year. We're looking at the team we could send this year. We have the best chance we've had, and we won in 2022, but we have a really good chance at winning with the team if we send Chase, Hayden, and Eli. It obviously makes it easier if you have 2 star guys on this. They're on the team. Hayden has made the comment that if Eli the only way he goes is if Eli goes.
Which that's confirmed, by the way.
Yeah,
I heard that directly from a source.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so
Saturday.
then you have to start thinking about it, because even if Eli and Hayden didn't go, then you're looking at like Kitchen and AP going, and that's still a really good team, but that reduces our chances of winning dramatically, in my opinion, just against the teams that we're going to be racing. So it's like, and Eli, he was really good. So his last 4 motos, he was 4-11, and the 11 was not a good representation of how he actually rode even the first moto.
That
4-11
track.
Yeah, 4-11, 4-3. He was fine. And he's going to be better in a month.
Yeah.
And especially with this whole rumor about them going over to the last GP before MX of Nations to get, acclimated to the bikes and testing and getting, their bodies acclimated and the food and all that shit we don't talk about. He's going to be better. And this is no offense to AP, but the fact that Eli was able to come off the couch and in 4 motos, 2 out of the 4, being able to run almost the same speed,
Yeah, so
I think he needs to go.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about this a lot in Supercross, and you brought this up a lot. Did you feel like Tomac's conditioning, you felt like he had enough cardio to go the whole distance there for the 35 minutes, both motos yesterday?
Yeah,
Seeing it in person?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, and Supercross is a different thing. Supercross is a lot more like, dude, if your breathing is off just a little bit, and then obviously hesitant with the Achilles, that's a different type of conditioning.
Because that was something that we questioned hard, because we watched that, and so you brought that point up in Supercross, and then I went, yeah, you're right, dude. At 15 minutes, he falls off. But I didn't feel like that was the case yesterday.
No, and I don't think it's ever actually a cardiovascular thing, the reason why he was fading at Supercross. Like I just mentioned, I think those were his issues. I don't think if you're ever looking at holy fuck, his heart rate's through the roof, he's got nothing left. I don't think that's ever been Eli's issue. It's just the other shit.
Yep. Okay. So, and so that was, those were a good couple motos. That second, realistically, the first moto, I thought he was going to get up there and challenge for the box too. So, he was on it first moto there.
Yeah, and we were trying to watch the broadcast on the way down here. He was just
partway through the first.
He was just making shitty line selection in the new section in the woods, the GNCC shit, where he was losing all that time to Hunter, because I felt like everywhere else he would close right back up on Hunter when you get towards the middle, and then especially start to get towards the tree line, and he just, whatever his line selection was in the woods, just wasn't good enough, and it was just enough to have to try to close back gap up, use a little bit more energy. But no, Eli rode fine yesterday, and I really think he's going to pick it up at SMX. I do think it's going to come out this week that it is going to be Chase, Hayden, and Eli, and it's a bummer for AP, but it's like, look, man, we're not in the charity giving business. We want to go win, and that's the team that we could win with. Now, whether we do win with that team too is also a different conversation, but still, if I look at that team on paper, I'm like, yeah, we can win with that team.
100%. So Hunter goes 3-6 for fourth.
I think he cooked himself that second moto.
He cooked himself that second moto.
And that scares me a little bit with Hunter.
Hard.
That scares me a little bit with Hunter. With his
the
past
health issues he's had, and now we only have a week break
to go into SMX. Dude, all that momentum, how great of a summer you had, might have just went out the door.
Yep. So we'll have to keep an eye on that moving forward. Justin Cooper goes 6-4 for fifth.
Just a quiet Justin Cooper day, man. Really, really good. Got dropped a little bit.
He looked fine, but he kept getting into no man's land there. Yeah. He'd get a decent start, but he just couldn't go with those guys, and then he'd get into no man's land and just be by himself, just riding.
And that's a really hard thing to do at any time, but especially the last national of the year when everything's kind of wrapped up, and you're just kind of like, man, I got no pressure from behind. I can't really see the guy in front of me. You kind of just get locked into the practice day pace in the week where you're going 82 to 85%.
Yep.
And you're just like, dude, if this is good enough to move me forward, cool, it'll move me forward. If it's not, then I'm just fine with being here. I got nothing really I got no reason to just hang it out anymore at this point.
Yep. Jason Anderson goes 5-5 for sixth.
Christian Craig caught him that second moto.
Well, that second moto, I watched him. I don't want to say give up. That's too harsh.
Because he passed Hunter.
He backed it down.
Yeah.
You watched him. He kind of got into that no man's land, and he backed it down. And then when Hunter started to fade, he picked it back up. But there was a while there that he was just like, you know what? I'm not catching him. I'm not losing anything to him. I'm just gonna you could tell the aggression level was not there, because with Ando there's an aggression level when he rides.
Don't get it twisted.
Wasn't there.
Everybody signed off in that moto other than Chase.
Yes.
Everybody else in that moto, Chase was the only one that just kept pushing. Everybody else was like, I got nothing.
Yep.
Well, and we know that like Ando, like I think he just had a normal Anderson season outdoors. Like he was good. He showed flashes of brilliance. Like had some speed. You know, was maybe there was a couple times where I think he should have done a little bit better. But whatever. Like Anderson, we know he's a Supercross guy. Like he is focused on SMX.
Yeah.
Like I honestly believe I don't think in his right mind and anybody around him thinks he's going to win SMX. But
You want me to text John and ask?
Who?
John, his trainer, Westling.
No, yeah, no, I don't think even they would tell you. But, like, I think anybody would be crazy to believe, though, that if Anderson doesn't get on the box and at least lead some laps in SMX, that it's not considered a failure.
Yeah.
Like I said, he ain't winning one, and he's not winning the SMX title, but I think Anderson needs to be on the box and needs to lead some laps for it to call it a successful SMX.
Yeah. Phil, last outdoor race, 8-8 for 7.
Phil was at the same hotel we were at. That's why it's just funny to us.
Funny thing to us. Dude, I mean, Phil did not sign off either. But
Phil also didn't shift the whole entire moto.
I was going to say, so here's the funny thing that I noticed with Phil this weekend. I think Phil riding the 250 in Supercross doesn't transition super well to the 450 because he was the only guy outside Tomac that when he went by me was on the limiter.
Dude, I literally watched him. So like the short shoot section behind the start where you come out of that left-handed 90 out front, hit that little sand section, then the tunnel jump where everybody was kind of like doubling into that pocket and then bouncing up and over into the woods. Like I literally watched Phil come out of that corner every lap. Not just like the motos, like even during time qualifying. Every lap just come out of there, just fucking reveling before you hit the pocket. And like most people, like there'd be no reason to shift there because you're rolling up into that jump, so like just pointless to shift unless you just already want to have third when you drop in, so you know you just kind of roll off. I watched Phil, instead of just like rolling off the throttle to get back in the meat of the power and let the bike free up, I'd watch him just clutch it a little bit to take load off the bike, and I'm like, what? Your whole thing is you just don't care. You're just gonna hold it wide open and be like, yeah, dude, I'm just gonna clutch it to get the RPMs down, and like I'm just gonna free it, and then I'm just gonna hold it wide open. I'm like, okay, whatever, man.
He is such a fan
favorite. That's his whole thing. Just fucking over rev, clutch it a little bit. It's fine.
He's such a fan favorite, and I love it. I fucking love it.
Great. I mean, I really
miss him.
I really hope he does. So this is my.
I hope he does more pulp.
Well, yeah.
Which I'm sure he will.
This is my question to you. So. And I think I already know the answer, but like I don't know if he's already said this. Is he going to run the 450 in SMX, or is he going to run the 250?
I think he's running 450.
Okay, and I assume so because he did last year or whatever, but I'm just like, well, you know, I mean, he had a okay Supercross season, I guess, so like maybe he wants to, I don't know. I hope he can go out with a bang, man, in some of these SMXs. Like, we know he's not going to get on the box. We know he's not going to get top 5. But it'd just be cool for, like, one of these to maybe, like, just rip a holy and, like, lead a lap.
You mean, like, that second moto, like, yesterday? They ripped the whole shot in? Dude,
or
like,
a couple times
sick.
last year in SMX. Like, what was it, Chicagoland? Where, he got rips.
We have that video.
I would just love for him to just, like, yank a start and just, like, maybe just, like, lead a lap. Like, it'd just be cool. Like, I really want to see Phil go out on a good note. Like, it'll be a real bummer if he goes out and it's just a struggle bus, even though he likes to pretend it's always a struggle. But, like, I think if Phil can just be top 10 every moto and maybe yank some starts and get some, you know, lead a lap or, you know, be top 5 for a little bit, I think he would even tell you, like, yeah, that was a successful SMX. Because obviously we know in SMX we're getting everybody back.
Yep.
So.
Christian Craig goes 10-7 for 8th.
Why?
So Phil was pushing to get him there in the second
good
moto.
Day, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like, that
okay.
7th was good. I mean, I'm sitting there watching him like, Christian, just you don't need to do it anymore. Just let it go, man. You're gonna be back at Star next year anyway. It's fine.
We'll get to that in the halftime report. Let's see here. Freddie goes 9-9 for 9th.
Freddie Day, man.
Freddie Day. Stu goes 7-11 for 10th.
I think I'd be a little disappointed with that one, but the second moto, he got a terrible fucking start. So.
I said hello to Big James.
Did you?
Yesterday morning.
He didn't try to eat you?
No. He was sitting there eating.
No,
I was walking through the pits, and he kept kind of like looking at me, not looking at me. When we first got there, before practice started. And I was like, well, this is awkward to walk by and not say hi. So I said, good morning, sir. And he said, good morning. And I asked how he was. He was very polite to me. It was very nice.
If you ever see Sonia, you should say hi to her, too.
Well, I don't see her, but I see him all the time.
She's what really kept shit in check back in the day. And Big James like that acts like a hard-ass. Sonia be like, motherfucker.
Shane goes 13-10 for 11th.
I think he is kind of just every time he rides, just, oh, fuck you to Hep. because we know the other two.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, the other two people on that squad did not have good days yesterday.
No, not at all. Marshall Welton, I think he had a broken wheel second moto.
Dude,
it looked a little wobbly.
Killing it though the first moto.
Yeah, 11-13 for 12.
Qualified 10th.
Yep.
Dude, somebody.
Good day for Marsh.
Yeah, I don't know what Marshall's deal is with Gizmo mods, but God, that kid deserves a ride.
Somewhere.
Like his Supercross, I know that his Supercross ceiling is not as high as outdoors, which nobody expects it to be, especially because he drops back down to the 250. But I would love for somebody to offer Marshall a ride because, I'm not going to say some names, but there's definitely some people that have rides that I think he deserves them over. So shout out to Marshall Welton, not only because he's a Michigan dude, but he's just a good kid.
Yep. Eric Grondahl, 12-14 for 13th. So hopefully into SMX.
How do you think his SMX shit's going to go? Because he rides.
I don't know.
He rides he rides Supercross, so like he has an understanding, and we know that there's not going to be like real whoops. They're going to be rollers. You think he's going to have do you think he could do well? I don't think it's going to be a failure.
I got to pour through. So I was going to pour through the points next week since we have kind of an off week here, and I was going to do a little series, kind of like a playoff series here. Do a couple 450 videos, couple 250 videos, kind of like first tier guys, second tier guys, like bubble guys, whatever, and kind of talk about that. So I was going to try to do some of those. So I got to see. Because I think he was trying to get enough points to get in and not have to do LCQs, but I got to see if he did it or not.
I think he already has.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure somebody in the comments here is going to roast me and be like, "You fucking idiot. Of course he has enough points. You're so stupid." But I have to see. I mean, if he's in, he's in. And
I think how do you think it's going to go, though? Do you think he'll do okay?
15 to 20. I don't think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to.
I don't think he's cracking that top 10.
I guess I would have to look at the guys that would be around that range. But yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna go 15 to 20th.
All right,
but it doesn't really matter because even if he gets like 20th, makes 40-50K.
Yeah, which is a success for him because his wife is not doing this next year.
yeah, exactly.
She's like, I'm not going back and forth, bringing suspension on an airplane, and then going. I'm not doing that.
Dino goes 17-12 for 14th.
I think he was just trying to get seat time, man.
I wonder if he got Chiz in points. I'll have to look that up there. Let's see here, actually. We can tell. 24th with 44 points.
He's going to hate life having to do the LCQs, man.
And then Chiz is 20th with 74. Oh, man. Lost to Chiz. That's terrible.
He's going to hate life. LCQs are going to suck.
Devin Simonson.
Had a good ride.
Riding the club bike.
Doesn't officially actually ride for club, though.
He does. These last couple here.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, 15-18 for 15th. At least he made the motos. Last weekend he came out, didn't make the motos.
Yeah, dude, he was killing it that first moto, man. He was locked in. He was running like I think 10th for a good 15-20 minutes, I think.
There was this gigantic battle of like
it was like Noren, Marshall, Simonson, Kulas.
No, there was another one then because it was like Hand, Robin, Dino. I don't know, like 8 dudes, like battled to the fucking death for like, I don't even know, apparently like 15th place or something. And I'm just going, do you think when Dino won his 250 outdoor title, he thought that this is where his career would end? Like, poor guy, man. Poor guy. Let's see here. I didn't
think that Dino would wreck, or fucking Eli would fucking ruin him.
Derek Kelly goes 18-16 for 16th. Okay. Colin Park, 16-19 for 17th. Grant Harlan, 14-36 for 18th.
Dude, Grant has had the most up and down season. Like, he's had moments of just like, oh my God, this kid is awesome. And then there's just other moments you're like, wow, what are you doing?
What's happening? The Pope was 24-15 for 19th, and Chiz was 21-17 for 20th. So, and that's your top 20. Jace Kessler made the motos, so that's cool.
He was doing pretty well that second moto for a while.
Kessler went 26-26. Yep. Walker made the motos. Another Michigan guy, 32-40th.
He had issues that's first moto.
Yeah, keep an eye out. I have that first turn crash
with Dylan
where you can watch him bounce off the ground there. That was pretty gnarly, and that was induced by Phil and Vincent Lahovey.
Yeah. He wasn't there when we were walking through the pits.
Who?
Dylan. I didn't see him anywhere.
Well, that's because he didn't even ride the second
moto.
moto.
I mean, like, they must have been, like, after, they must have did a test on him, and like, dude, like, we're leaving.
Yep. So, All right. Anything else 450s from this weekend that you can think of? All right. So that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha, who we didn't see this weekend.
Hopefully we see him for SMX.
We'll see. We'll see. So, all right, moving on to your Complete Racing Solutions halftime report here. So this month for Complete Racing Solutions, we are going to highlight express workouts, which are 30-minute workouts that anybody can do at home. So if you're busy on the go, these 30-minute workouts will get you moving. Do them once a day. Do them a couple times a week. You'll be good to go. It will help you out tremendously. Or you can do multiples a day. It's kind of up to you. We're going to get Justin on this program.
I don't need a workout.
We're going to get you on this program.
I have a workout program
Would you
already.
shut up and just like go with the fucking feed here? Like, come on. We're trying to sell shit. God, I hate you. This is why we can't have sponsors.
Yeah, this is why we can't have sponsors.
This is why we can't have sponsors.
Yeah, this is why.
So anyway, make sure to check them out. CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob can help you out with all your fitness and nutrition stuff. Link in the description down below. Okay, halftime report here. Okay, so let's talk designations here. So we've been hearing that Deegs wasn't going because he does have pins in his wrist from that wrist injury, which do have to be removed. I did confirm that also this weekend.
That would also, though...
and what I mean by confirm is I was eavesdropping hard this weekend.
That would also, though... that would not allow him to do the last... That Spain round, though.
Look, man, I don't know what's happening now, okay?
No.
Because, like I said, I was eavesdropping. Confirmed here that he definitely was not going. He's not going if Tomac's not going. So if they do pick AP, he will not be going. But I also confirmed that he does have those screws in his wrist because he had to have 2 screws put in his wrist, is what I heard, that have to get taken out.
Well, that also, I completely forgot about that. But that also might, even if he does go, might lean towards the fact that I don't think we have a shot to win then. Because if he's a week off the bike and then he's going into Matterley, because there's a week in between, so you have SMX, then you have the Spain round, and then there's Designations.
But why would you get if he's going to Designations? I wouldn't get the screws taken out till after Designations.
But I thought he was supposed to get it out after SMX, like before Designations.
Maybe, I don't know. What I think that was when the original talk was that he wasn't going at all.
Yeah, that might be it. Maybe
and
it
now
might
if
be
he's going, I think he'll probably postpone it. Which again,
would be
too,
smart.
the only thing is you're getting screws taken out. That's a week or two, maybe. So then you're 2 weeks off, and then you're training for Supercross, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
When is Designations?
The first week of October. October 5th and 6th and 7th.
All right, so you get it off. So
or
then,
4th, 5th, 6th.
I mean, to me, that's still okay, even if you want to ride west, because you're 2 weeks off, and then you're.
No, I'm just talking about him.
Then you're basically into November, so you're November, December boot camp.
Dude, I'm just talking,
me, that's okay.
I'm just talking about the fact of being ready for MX of Nations.
Well, like I said, I don't think, but I do think now that with Tomac's results and stuff, I think the team is going to be Chase, Tomac, Deegs.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think will do.
They'll do really well.
I mean, it gives us a real shot.
Look,
I feel
there's 4 teams going to MX of Nations. If it's that team, if that's the team we send. The Netherlands, which is going to be Hurlings, Kai de Wolf, and Calvin Villandren.
Yep.
The Aussies with Jet, Kyle Webster dropping down to a 250, and Hunter Lawrence.
Yep.
And then there's also the French team, which has now been confirmed, which is going to be the same team as last year, Fevre, Vial, and Renault.
Yep.
So, like, those are the 4 teams. Like, there's some other teams that are really, really good. The Belgium team is really, really good. But the problem is that the Belgium team is sending an all 250 team, and Koonen's going to be on a 450, that his brother's going to be an MX2, and Liam's going to be back on a 350. So it's like, that's a really good team. That is literally, and this is a fact, the youngest MX of Nations team ever to exist. You have
sounds like it.
2 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old.
Cool.
Or a 19-year-old. So
Watch
it's
them
like,
win. Watch them just win.
I would lose my shit. Well, if it
I'd
rains.
be stoked about it.
Yeah.
It'd be
So,
like, this is great.
This is fucking awesome.
These
and
kids,
I would just
these
love...
kids came in and were like, fuck you.
I would just love to hear Lucas Koonen's podium speech at that point. But, like, those are the 4 teams. So, like, you know, we have a really, really good shot. I mean, I think our toughest is still... Everybody likes to talk about Australia, but I still think it's going to be the Netherlands and France. The Australia team is going to be really, really good, but... yeah, they're MX2, even though Webster is very, very good. I just don't think he can hang with the other 250 guys that are being picked. So, yeah, like, we have a really, really good shot to win, and if anything, get on the box. But that's the team we need. And this is no knock if we send Levi and AP and Chase, because that's also a really, really good team. Because AP's been really, really good. And Levi is also, I mean, he fucking won, 3 out of the last 5 overalls.
Yeah.
Like, he's proved that he can win and he can beat everybody when he gets a good start. But that's the problem with AP and Kitchen that I believe what happened is that what happens if they don't get a start?
Yep.
So, we need to send Chase, Hayden, and Eli. And I think it's going to be probably confirmed at some point, the middle of this week or maybe the end of this week.
I just think with those 3, I think it's a podium minimum.
Oh, if we don't get a podium with that squad, like, we did something wrong.
Unless it's just a complete shit show mutter.
Which is a very good chance, too.
There's a very good chance. Because if that's the case, then it's kind of like all bets are off. And, like, at that point, then you can't get mad no matter what finish we get. Because it's just like, bro, like, there's only so much. It's kind of like last time we were at Matterley when we sent
Zach, Tom Covington,
your homeboy,
Sealy.
Big Air Tom there.
It was Zach, Tom Covington, Sealy.
Yeah, and Sealy. And Sealy shock broke both motos and everything. It's like I don't really blame them. They were guys who were selected to go as like an afterthought. That was a real fucked up year, and then it was just shit, mud fest everywhere. So
and our guys don't ride in that kind of shit.
So like I said,
no, if it's a mudder, no offense to our guys, we'll get fucking.
What I'm just way more interested in than the Designations race itself is that if all these guys, because it's confirmed that Sexton's going to race the Spanish GP. And then it's been talked about from what I've heard that if Deegs and Tomac were going, they were also going to race the Spanish GP the week before. If that is the case, I'm super excited to see that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because those championships, I mean, I don't know what happened today. I don't even know if the races are over with.
No, it's live right now.
I don't want to know anything about it. Though the 450 championship will still be being decided. And unless something crazy happens today and the next couple rounds leading up to that, the 250 championship is probably going to be decided because Lucas just got his shit together way too late. But you're going to have a dude, the Hurlings, Prado, and then Geyser that are locked in on a 450 championship that are going to still sending it, and Kai de Wolf and Lucas Kuhnen just always send it, so it won't matter. So that'll be I mean, dude, like I told you on the way down, I hate to say it, but I think our guys will get smoked, but I think it's going to be a good learning experience for them.
I think it's going to be great. And I'll tell you what, man, I don't know if Chase's newfound confidence is legit. Be interesting to see what he does, man.
I don't think he can beat Hurlings and Prado on their turf. I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of those things I'm very excited.
Because I also don't know. I haven't done enough research on that track, if it's a sand track or not.
I'm going to probably have to buy the pass to be able to watch that weekend.
You just watch CBS Sports if you have it.
I don't have CBS Sports. I don't have terrestrial TV at my house.
Oh, okay.
So I am very, very interested to see that, though. And especially Deeks. Can you imagine Deeks just qualifying first, going in the first corner, and just cleans everybody out? just fucking goes straight, takes the whole...
I would actually tell you this. I would be absolutely shocked if he was qualified first.
I wouldn't. That's something stupid that would happen.
I would. I'd be absolutely shocked.
Because he's going over there like USA. Yeah,
I don't think that works at a GP. At the destinations, it'll work for sure. But at a regular GP where it's just the country fans, that USA shit won't work.
Can you imagine how busy that race is going to be if all 3 of them are confirmed to be at that Spanish GP?
Well, it was already going to be super busy because Prado.
Yeah.
So it was already going to be insane because his home GP that happened earlier this year was fucking packed.
Yeah.
So it's now you tell me that Prado has a chance to win the title at the last GP of the year in his home country. Mm-hmm. Holy crap!
And they already burned the bike down last year. What are they going to do this year for a follow up?
Burn people.
Just burn everything down. Burn the facility.
No, I'd love to see it. It'll be interesting because, like I told you, that shit just doesn't happen anymore. No. I just think that
when I heard it was happening, I was like, "This is fantastic. This is what should be happening."
It could go one or two ways, though, and I think our guys are smart enough to not let it go the bad way, but it could go one or two ways. It could be either really, really good, or if our guys get smoked, it could be a confidence killer.
Nah, you know what? I go back to the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. 3 days before the games start, or whatever, a week before the games start.
I don't think you can call 2 champions and a former champion the same thing as a ragtag group of Americans that, weren't supposed to win.
Look, we ended up beating the Russians, okay?
Yeah, but they weren't supposed to win. We are.
What, the Russians?
No, America.
Yeah.
America wasn't supposed to win that. They did because it's a bunch of ragtag groups. Can you really call Chase, Hayden Deegan, and Eli Tomac a bunch of ragtag group of guys?
Look, we're just some random dudes out here racing dirt bikes.
You're high as fuck. Go on.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, you didn't take your mushrooms today.
All right, let's get into some silly season stuff then. So Styles Robertson seems to be confirmed going to Triumph.
Yeah, we talked about that a while
Which
ago.
isn't really a surprise there. We had him on the radar for a while now.
Yeah, and it's a good connection because it's like it's Bobby Hewitt and Steve Westfall.
There's actually been a lot of talk this weekend about Triumph, which is interesting. Which, by the way, we did not see my best friend Jalik. Well, we saw him. We didn't talk to him. We should have. We saw him yesterday when we were filming the reaction show. If you guys watched that, you did see that. And we should have gone and said hi.
But we didn't.
But we didn't because we were cooked, much like Hymus. So it's fine. Okay, so Styles to Triumph basically confirmed. The one that's up in the air here is there's rumors now of Fortner going to Triumph.
Yeah.
And there's somebody, I can't remember your name, sorry, bro, reached out on Instagram. He's been talking to me about it. I don't know.
I don't think
maybe,
it's gonna happen. I don't think so.
Yeah, but I was like,
I'd like to see it, but
I
I don't
thought it
think
was
so.
confirmed that he re-upped his contract with Pro Circuit. So
Yeah, I think the Triumph team is still going to be Swole, Styles Robertson, Smitty, and then whatever happens with Janik.
I think so too. That's what I'm hearing. So we'll have to wait and see.
And I think the PC team will once again be, it's going to be Marchbanks, Fortner, McAdoo, Hammaker, Masterpool, and then, who am I missing right now? Kitchen.
Kitchen.
And then, this is, I don't even know how we didn't bring this up. There was a rumor floating around.
Okay.
Because we just talked about Triumph.
Yeah.
There was a rumor floating around before Walton that Triumph was going after Drew Adams.
Well, that's an interesting thing, too. I don't know that he's got a pro contract yet.
He doesn't. He has not signed anything. He literally, and the reason why, and he actually, this is from the horse's mouth, when he was up there giving his podium speech at Walton,
yes,
he was talking about how, it was really, really good, loved her, but, I'm just not going to be with these guys next year. He said it on the podium.
Interesting.
He even made the comment, he's like, I'm going to have one last ride with Kawasaki, and it's a bummer because I thank those guys for everything they did for me. You can even find that's not verbatim, but you can even find that speech. It's all over the place. He literally went up and said, Ironman's going to be my last race with Kawasaki.
Interesting.
So he doesn't have a contract. And then the rumor floated out. The rumor before Walton was, because we like to talk about this, because we all know the whole bullshit that happened with Ryder D and then Jet Reynolds and all the stuff that has happened with Pro Circuit. So they were like, Triumph, Drew Adams. And then he goes and says that. And then it ramps up again.
Yeah.
I think Drew Adams is going to Triumph, which would really make sense because Joey's not going to be on that team next year.
Yes.
So, dude, you're looking at that team and you're like, okay, that's not a bad squad.
No,
Dude, you got Swole, you got Smitty, you got Drew Adams, you got maybe Janik, you got Styles Robertson. Like, dude, that's kind of a pretty decent squad, I guess.
Yep, and Savachi's going to be off the team.
Yeah, Savachi's not going to be out.
Which is weird because his deal was supposed to be the 450s next year, but the 450's behind. But according to Jeff, when we talked to him last week, don't be surprised to see the 450 come out next year. But like I said, I think he's just behind. So I don't know, man. What's he going to do? Where's he going? Club MX?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
That would make sense to me.
I don't
Him and Zacho are tight, dog, and Zacho has connections there, and they don't have a 450, dude.
No, I don't think he fits the mold. I don't think he wants to switch up to a different training facility and have to do that shit all over again.
What do you mean? Where's he training right now?
Well, he still goes up to MTF every now and then.
Every now and then, but
it doesn't matter.
Basically been training with
he won't be
Zacho
able to
in
do that
Florida.
anymore. He won't be able to go to MTF if he's riding it for club.
Well, that's fine. Then he's got
It's not
club.
fine for him.
You
Dude,
don't
he's
think
been
so?
at MTF for over 15 years.
Well, then what's he going to do? Is he going to not ride?
No. I don't know, man. I think he'll
Because he ain't going to privateer it. He's
No,
proven that.
no, he's
he's
already
not
said
going to
that.
privateer it out of a van.
That's a good question. That'll be something for silly season. I think Joey's going to have a ride. I think he'll be back on a 450. I don't think he's doing this 250 experience.
I think he'll go to club.
No, I don't see that.
Him and Zach are real tight, dude.
I understand they're really tight, which is funny, but he's not
real funny.
going to want to be told you can't go to MTF. He's too tight with those people. I'll tell you that shit right now. He's too tight with MTF. Him and Colleen and Little B, they've been together for too long.
I understand, but if you don't go there, I don't know what your option is.
I don't know either.
And this is one of the things where I love going to the races, and people are like, well, do you talk to people? I'm like, somewhat, but a lot of what I do is I pay attention to who's where, what, and talking to who. What?
Beta.
No way. Not a chance. Not a chance. 0 chance he goes to beta.
Didn't think Colton Nichols would end up a HEP.
Yeah, but we've seen him be with like JGR and stuff, and I know he didn't like that experience either.
Maybe it'll be Firepower Honda. Maybe it'll be Phoenix. Maybe there's teams out there.
Yeah, there is.
Moto Concepts. Because Oldenburg.
Firepower Honda would make sense. He could stay at MTF.
Because Oldenburg's leaving Moto Concepts. So
Moto Concepts doesn't make sense because they're just going to be regional again.
if he can ride the 450, I don't think he cares.
And there's rumors that they're not even having a team, so I don't know.
Well, they're locked in for SM or WSX.
Yeah, WSX. Yeah, I don't know. The like I said, the Firepower does make sense because he could stay at MTF, but of course the Firepower I think is super low budget, like lower than Club.
Well, I'm pretty sure the only people that are signed to Firepower right now is Carson Mumford.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, last thing for silly season, Craig the Star rumor here.
As a 450 rider / trainer.
Yep. Which I think his salary is being paid by Deegan's, from what I understand.
Probably.
Because they really like him being around Hayden. They think he helps keep Hayden on the straight and narrow there and good with stuff. Which is fine. That'll be interesting to see when he goes back there. What if he just turns up and he's just all of a sudden a top 5 guy on that Star bike?
I mean, he's proven he can be, so like it wouldn't be a shock to me, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with the last couple of years he's had to see.
And I mean, look how well he's rounded out nationals on that Husky, and he's not 100%. That arm is fucked.
I know. I forgot. I was gonna try to find him yesterday and ask to see his arm.
That arm is fucked.
Yeah.
So
I saw him in the morning walking, but I didn't say anything to him. I was trying to do videos.
So that would honestly, I might be in the minority on this one, but that, like, if you were to tell me in a crystal ball that he gets back on that Star bike and all of a sudden he's top 5 again or runs top 5, I'd be like, it's not really shocking to me.
Nope, not at all.
It's just not.
Nope. So
there's a lot more things out there to be like, oh, I can't see that happening. That one, dude, because he's already proven it. He's already proven he can do it outdoors.
Yep.
So why wouldn't I think going into Supercross, he's better at Supercross, that he would be better on that bike than he was on the Husky?
Yeah.
Like it's a real easy connection.
Yep. So that's been the silly season stuff that we've got for it. You got anything else?
No, not really. I mean, shit's kind of died down. I think that we'll probably start hearing more shit during the middle of SMX, but like everything is kind of petered out a little bit. Which that happens, dude. Like we get in this weird thing in the weird thing in the industry where like after the nationals, we're like, then SMX now, since that's the thing, like stuff starts ramping up, and then dude, we'll get into October and all of a sudden shit will be like fucking 100%, and you're like, oh, okay, well this is cool, I see this, because there's a lot of people moving around going into next year, so and a lot of people coming up, and you know what's going to happen with some of these combine kids, like what's their contracts going to look like with Cole Davies and you know all this, so like it's going to be interesting. We'll see.
All right, so that's been your Complete Racing Solutions halftime report there. Did we have a rant? No holster co reload rants?
No, I don't really think I could get a rant while I'm at the race, because it's like I'm not paying any attention other than the race. I'm not, so we don't hear anything that's said on the broadcast. So I don't really have one. Race was fine yesterday. Like track was good. Racing for the most part was good. Nothing stupid happened.
I got a rant.
Oh boy.
Can we go back to Fall Nationals? We talked about this all weekend. Fall Nationals, baby.
Let's bring this up.
The shit.
Let's actually bring this up in a show and talk about this like in length.
It was so much better.
Yeah.
So like, can we run Supercross from February through the end of May, then take 3 months off, and then do Nationals and then SMX, and then Can we do that? Is that possible?
Yes.
Like, let's make shit happen.
I think anything's possible.
Let's go down like 10 Nationals, 3 playoff races, 15 Supercrosses.
Game.
And let's have a couple months here, a couple months there, breaks. Let's do it.
I want it to be 2:00 in the afternoon, the first 450 moto starting, and it's 62 degrees out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. God, those Fall Nationals. For anybody who wasn't around in 2020 or 21 when we did the... Was it 21? No, it's 20.
COVID cross.
COVID cross. Yeah.
2020.
When we did the Fall Nationals.
Dude, and I'll tell you what, man,
were great.
Those motos actually were
great
insane,
because you're not dying.
Nobody was dead.
You're not dying
Dude,
in this heat.
Those Redbud rounds were nuts.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Let's go back to that.
All right, and that's been your Complete Racing Solutions halftime report. Links in the description down below. Also, make sure to check out our friends at Holster Co., who I have to go see this week for some new things to hold things that go bang bang and pow pow. Anyway, moving on. 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Flo Racing. They can build you a sick P-dub. They also have all sorts of other bike parts in stock, ready to ship. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. So Vial goes 1-4 for first overall. That first moto, he was just on it, bro. That's the Tom Vial we all thought we were going to see all summer.
Yeah, no, he rode great. When he had a clear track and he just kind of do his thing, you know, the first couple laps, like Hymas was really pressuring him. Smitty was kind of freight training behind. And, you know, Tom picked it up. And once he realized that he could sustain that pace and it wasn't a little sketchy and he could, you know, connect his lines and he knew Hymas was going to drop off a little bit, he slowly just started inching away and just clicked off laps, man. And when he can... when he's got a clear track and he just kind of do his thing, like most of these 250 kids, like, dude, he proved once again that he can be the fastest dude in the world on a 250.
He was gone because that first moto 2 through 6 was in a battle.
Oh yeah,
the entire moto and swapping back and forth, and Vial was just gone.
He was just out doing his thing, man.
Yep,
that's what he did a lot of his MX2 career, man. He yanked a Holy, like had a little bit of pressure, and if he could sustain that pressure, like he just would slowly walk away from everybody. Because if Vial is anything, he's consistent throughout the motos as far as like his lap times.
Yep, and he ends up second in points with 412.
Yep.
It's just he was so far off of Deegan. Like the crazy thing is, we're all like, "Oh, this was a terrible summer," but he was just so far off of Deegan's consistency that's what cost him. But he's still second in points, which is crazy.
And the crazy thing is, he left a lot on the table, man. Because like even they talked about in the first moto broadcast, like he led a lot of motos this year that he just threw away.
There was a lot of mistakes.
So if you look at a lot of the motos that he didn't throw away, even if he didn't win them and he got second, like this point, Deegan still wins. But this points chase is a lot closer. A lot closer. Yep. So we'll see what happens going into SMX. I don't really know who is the favorite at this point. I told you on the way down that I don't think that there's a clear-cut favorite. I think that Hayden is probably a lot of people's favorites, but I don't think that he's the clear-cut favorite. And we'll see what Tom does. Like, dude, he was, you know, and you guys gave me shit about this, and I'm not saying Tom's going to win the title. I'm not saying that, or whatever you want to call the SMX. I'm not saying that. But you can't forget, Tom was really damn good at those SMX rounds. Even so much so, remember we were doing one of the Supercross shows, and I was talking about that last round at the Coliseum, and you had totally forgot that he beat Deegan?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he was really damn good at those SMX rounds, so... I'm looking forward to them. They're going to be good, depending on what the tracks look like. I don't know who's going to win that 250 class. I know everybody's going to be like, Hayden. That's fine. Like, he deserves to be everybody's number one pick if that's your guy. But I don't think it's that clear cut, man. I don't think it is. I really don't. I think that there's 4 dudes. I think it's Hayden, Kitchen, RJ, and Tom.
Ooh, you don't put Hymas in there at all.
What did Hymas do in Supercross, bro?
I feel like he was pretty good.
He was average. And I say that with all due respect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
he was average.
It wasn't great.
I'm not saying, and I just say that with all due respect. He was good, but he wasn't those 4.
All right.
So I think it's those 4, and whoever you want to pick out of that one, go for it.
Was it because he was cooked?
It was something. But yeah, whoever you want to pick out of those 4, out of the guys that I just gave, like, I don't really care. I'd be like, yeah, sure, because both of them of those guys were the title guys, and the other 2 were second in points. So it's like, yeah, if you want to pick one or the other, I don't give a shit. But I think it's going to be those 4. I think that there's going to be flashes of brilliance from Hymas, from Smitty, some guys like that. But I think you'd be fooling yourself if you think that any one of those 4 is not going to win the championship.
All right. Fair enough. Hymas goes 6-2 for second.
I think he smoked himself that first moto.
He was cooked. He also wasn't happy that second moto because he put a charge in to try to catch Vial there and just did not have it. He put a charge in to try to catch Deegan that second moto and just did not have it. And when he came over the finish line there and stuff, he shook his head. He was not pumped on that finish. So, but this is a good outdoor year for him. For a kid that
actually really wasn't probably supposed to ride this summer.
Yeah. This has been good.
I just want to see him have a healthy offseason coming to Supercross because depending on which coast he's on, I think he could have a really good Supercross season.
Yep.
Because I think he's still really, like, his ceiling is very, very high.
Yep.
He's proven that this outdoors.
Yep. RJ goes 4-3 for third.
Wanted to be in the Danger Zone more this summer.
Yep.
I love it, man. I love it. Like, RJ just never stop being RJ, bro. Just
Nope.
fucking send it. Head bouncing around like a bobble doll. Like, I don't care, dude. Just fucking G'ing out, bouncing off shit. I love it, dude. I love it. And like you said, hey, man, he was like, the ultimate goal is SMX. This is not my style. Just go ride around, but I'm stoked. I wish I could have been here more this summer. Like, dude, SMX, man.
Here we go.
If he doesn't, like, look, if he wins,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, no, like, that's totally, like, RJ, he's going to send it, man.
Yep.
He's going to fucking send it, and whether he arrows himself into the ground or not, but I'm expecting things to be spicy from RJ come
More than likely.
SMX.
More than likely. Deegs goes 11-1 for fourth. All right, here we go. Deegan Danger Zone. Isaac Nelson Designs. Make sure to check them out. So we got the Danger Double now at Ironman.
Danger Double.
The Danger Double.
Oh, that's what they were coining it.
Yeah, the finish
but
line
he didn't
double.
do it in the motos.
No, he didn't, which was crazy.
Because it's slower. It's a big send,
Yeah.
but it's slower. You're stretching it out just to get over it. It's pointless.
It was funny. I was standing next to these two guys, second moto there, right by the finish, and they walked up, and one guy's looking, he goes, did he send it from there to there in press yesterday? And he's like, yep. And he's like, did they, like, knock that down or something? And I looked at him, I went, nope, this is what he's jumping. He's like, so he's just basically doing that to flat. And I said, yep. He goes, wow, that's crazy, which it is.
Yeah, but then we
Crazy-ass
found out.
jump.
But then we found out a couple other people were doing, and then I'm like, well, it kind of takes it away from.
Ansty did it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, well, it kind of takes away the whole thing from being stewable anymore at that point.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I was saying it's not impressive. It's still fucking impressive.
it's
'cause
impressive.
It's a huck because there's no transition into the
No.
pocket. But it's like, you know, you come up with a stewable thing, and it's obviously a joke. But like for it to be stewable,
Yeah.
only one or two people do it. Now
Yeah.
when you hear other people are doing it, like, well, okay, fine.
well, and like I said, Marv said, I think, was it Marv? Yeah, it was Marv on Gypsy Tales last year when he did it the first time. He was like, well, we've all looked at that and said, yeah, we could do it. It's just, it's pointless type
Yeah.
deal.
It's impressive.
So he got to run the number one plate.
Yep.
They petitioned the AMA from what I understand.
Yeah, like why are you pitching the bitch? She won the title. Let it
Yeah,
go,
which is
whatever,
stupid.
whatever.
He should have been able to run
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So he runs the number one, and I came up to you after that first moto and said, or midway through that first moto and said, man, number one plate's heavy today.
It was.
Which it looked like it.
First moto was a
off,
struggle bus. Well, I mean,
terrible
dude,
start,
you
two
know,
tip overs.
And that's the thing is like, and I say this with a lot of guys, it's not just Hayden. Like a lot of these guys are so programmed mentally that, especially somebody like Hayden, who he's gotten better, but he relies so much on his natural talent. Like his technique has definitely gotten better over the years.
Yep.
But he relies so much on natural talent and muscle
going, I
memory
need a notepad.
that when you're in the pack and you have to anticipate what other people are doing and really sit down and analyze your line selection, where if you don't blow a section, make a mistake, and then you can't just use your talent to just manipulate your muscles to force the bike back into a good situation, like because you might run it in deep on someone, or that line where you thought was there is not there anymore because the dude in front of you blew it out. You know, it's more of a thinking person's game, and we know that a lot of these kids just aren't thinking throughout the moto.
Yeah.
And we've watched it enough with a lot of these guys. Kitchen, Hymus, Vial, like a lot of these 250 dudes. It's not just Deegan. Everybody's like that. Like, that's what happens to these kids. These kids don't work their way through the pack like some of the guys from yesteryear.
He was pushing. He just, that number one plate, tipped him over a couple times. That bogged him down on the start there.
And then the second moto, he tried to get Vial into a game that Vial doesn't play, and I think Vial just pumped up.
I've seen some highlights of that second moto because obviously, like you said, we tried to watch it on the way home, and we made it about 3/4 of the way through the first one. That second moto, yes, the whole him and Vial thing kind of going back.
And Tom's never going to play that game.
Of course, it was funny because, one of the things I did see is, so after the finish there, they go over that scrub wall, and then by the, by the mechanics area before the right-hander back onto the start straight, right?
Uh-huh.
And Vial did go all the way left to all the way right to try to block him for that inside
But was
right.
that after the fact of when Hayden ran it deep on him after the right-hander after the finish? Because when that all started is when the right-handed 180, when you come back across the start, you went
Yeah.
all the way to that inside rut, and there's this much breathing room.
Yeah.
Hayden tried to just
Oh
dive.
no, that's
on
what
it.
I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hayden got inside of him.
That's what caused Tom to do that, because he was like, "Listen, you little shit stain. Like, we're not going to play that." Here's the thing.
Oh boy, you called him a shit stain. Here
I don't
come the
care.
comments.
Tom is not going to play that game. Like, I know what Hayden was trying to do. Everybody knows it, and I don't fault him for it. Like, you want to get in the guy's head. But the thing with Tom is Tom doesn't play that game because guys in the GPs try to do that with him. Garrett's tried to do that with him. Kai tried to do it with him. Langenfelder. Like, guys tried to do that with Tom, and Tom's just not good at that. Like, Hayden, we talked about this. Like, Hayden, like, whether he uses it for motivation or not, and I can't fault him, like, I'm going to just make up a thing with Hymas or Kitchen. I'm going to make up this so I have something to build off of. And I know he's tried to do it quite a few times with Tom at Supercross. And Tom doesn't play that game. So, like...
Did you see him fuck with Kitchen in practice?
Hayden?
Yeah.
No.
First practice.
Yeah. Okay.
First practice. First lap.
Okay.
They come by the mechanics area. Deegs slows up.
Oh,
moves
yeah,
over
I
to
think
the
I've seen that,
outside.
yeah.
Lets Kitchen go inside. Immediately cuts down and then just takes off next to Kitchen and just moves right over on him. First lap of practice, and I went, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, like, he's just...
I love it. I'm here for it.
Tom's
all
just,
the time.
Tom's just not going to get drawn into that game, and I think what happened is because Tom, that's not his riding style. He's not good at anticipating things behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just was so worried. I think he was worried what Hayden was going to do. I don't think in his mind he was like, oh, this kid's going to take me out. But I think that because he had to play the blocking game, Tom's not good at that. That's not one of it. He's not Cooper Webb, and most people aren't. And I think he just pumped up.
They had a good battle for like 2 laps.
And that's why I'm saying I think he just pumped up because he showed that, like, hey, man, like, Hayden tried to make the pass. Tom passed him back. Tom sent it into that tunnel going into the step, going into the woods like you were. Hayden was one of the few people doing it. So it's like Tom could have just kept running that pace, but I think he just pumped himself up. He's like, dude, I'm just not good at this.
Yeah.
And he went backwards, and that's his own fault. And, Hayden got the win. So, like, yeah, I mean, more proud. Like, like, it worked.
Deegs rode well all day. Like, it wasn't like he didn't ride well. That first moto was just... Now, one thing I do have to say is, so he's going to run the number 1 plate, obviously, in SMX too, right? This is interesting because we've seen it where the number 1 plate's heavy, right? Well, he's already got past that heavy point now. So what does that mean for SMX here? Because if he has this happen, that first round to SMX, even if it's just the first moto, okay, now all of a sudden it makes your SMX title repeat a little bit more challenging. But now that that's out of the way, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to get a battle in SMX, but it's just like...
I think it's going to be a 4-person battle.
If he doesn't have this one moto, with the heavy number 1 plate...
I still believe in a normal Supercross setting, though, that if Kitchen yanks a holy all over all these guys, he's faster than all of them. If Kitchen yanks a start and he put him out front, which that's on his to do that. So I think Kitchen proved enough on the West Coast that if Kitchen yanks a start and he's in free air, I don't think any of these kids can beat him.
Yep.
I just don't. Like, I will argue that fact. Like, I just don't think that they're faster than him. Now, you give Kitchen a bad start, he's just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But you give him a clear track free and away, like, I don't even care if it's Kitchen out front, Deegan second, RJ's third, Tom's fourth. I think Kitchen's just going to walk away from him. I really do. But Kitchen proved that enough in Supercross that wasn't a consistent thing. So who knows? You could have multiple winners in SMX because I don't think any of these dudes are clear better than each other in that setting.
No.
I think outdoors, obviously with Hayden just winning that, but in the SMX setting when it's going to be a hybrid track, I mean, dude, you could have one moto where RJ just fucking yards everybody, and then the next moto, like, Hayden wins, and then Tom, so.
Yeah. All right. Jordan Smith goes 3-8 for 5th. That was a very Jordan Smith day. Like the first moto, he's just crazily riding super fast. Just
still
up
proves,
there.
man, that there's days where it's just like, yep, nope, Jordan Smith still has. I mean, look, almost won SMX last year, bro.
Oh, I know. Ty Masterpool goes 5-6 for 6th. Okay.
It's a good way to end the season.
Yep.
Especially not considering he didn't have a ride.
Ryder D had a fantastic day. 7-5 for 7.
God, dude, he was battling. He was battling.
In it that
he
second
was not
moto.
letting RJ and Tom go that second moto.
He was so locked on to RJ and Tom. I was like, holy shit.
See, this is the Ryder D that we all
thought we were going to get.
Yeah, and I like it, man. I don't necessarily, I'm not a fan one way or the other of him, but like I want to see these kids live up to their potential. And this is the Ryder D that we all talked about since like the days of the 50 days.
And
like
the thing I hate is like, okay, now next year you've got this weird gas husky combine, whatever the fuck you want to call it thing's going to happen here. What does that mean for his career, man?
He would be a kid that I think if you put him on Star Yamaha,
you could actually get something out of him, you think?
Holy crap, dude. Him on a Star bike?
Maybe.
Jesus.
I'm sure they'll make room for him at some point. They make room for everybody, including
I
Pierce
know.
Brown. Max Anstey goes 13.7 for 8th.
I think we all know Max's objective through outdoors was to just get time on the bike,
Yep.
and he just, dude, we all know for him it's still about getting dialed in for Supercross and SMX.
Yep.
And I think he is going to be really good on that bike come Supercross 2025.
Yep.
What he gets, I don't know, but I think he's going to be really good on it.
Yep. Kenny goes 9.12 for 9th. Okay, let's discuss this a little bit. So I had placed him 3 to 5. There were other people, I think, including yourself, that were more like 6, 7, 8 type deal. 9 to 12 is obviously a little worse for wear. But dude, that was impressive.
Well, it's kind of like what we talked about. Like he qualified second. He was off Deegan by like a second, but still
He
qualified
did like
second.
3 fast. Let's
I told
just
you.
put this out there because I'm not sure how much they followed on him on the broadcast. He was not running fast laps.
No, like I
lap
told
after
you.
lap after lap.
Like
He
we
rode
told-
like
yeah.
3 fast laps between both sessions.
Like we talked about after the thing, we were sitting over at Kev's. Like I told you, I was like, dude, he made 2 heaters early in the practice, and then he just sat around, and then like the last 2 minutes, he's like, all right, now I'm gonna pull the trigger. But it was weird, and I kind of, we alluded to this on the recap show. Like, I think we both talked about, like, we were talking about this in our group chat, and I was like, yeah, man, like, he fucking sends it, sprints away in the 450s, like, and then, you made the comment, like, oh, it's a little bit different. So it kind of like we were kind of on one end of the other on that one, but I think it actually happened exactly opposite of what everybody thought and we both thought. He actually got to the end of the moto, and he was like, you know what, man? I don't really need to send it for 35 minutes like these kids do. Like, these kids just don't shut off. Like, no wonder these kids ragdoll themselves into the ground. And I think Kenny made a real business-like decision to go, you know what, man? I got SMX in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd be interested to look at his lap times and see if his lap times fell off. And I'm
bet
sure you
you-
guys will tell me in the comments. So.
I bet you if you look early on into that 250 moto, he has one of the top 3 fastest posted lap times.
Probably.
But I think he just made a business decision. He's like, look, boys, like I got SMX in 2 weeks, what I'm really getting paid here to do, because
Yeah.
we have now found out that he had funded a lot of this whole thing on his own. The
Oh,
250
really? Where'd you
program.
find that out?
There were some comments floating around that like, oh, hey, like he's going to put a lot of money in this. And
Interesting.
I think he was just like, this was fun, but 2 weeks is like where my real goal is.
Yeah.
And we all saw how he rode SMX last year. So
I mean, to be honest, he's one of those sleepers that I think could win SMX, and we would all just look at it and go, okay.
I mean, whether you want to call the shenanigans that happened between him and Jet last year, he almost did.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
Yep. Our best friend Jalik Swole goes 12.10 for 10th.
just kind of a Jalik day, man. Just
Hey,
solid.
buddy.
Just solid.
Yeah, nah, man, dude, he's had a great year.
Yeah.
He's had a really good year on that new bike. Getting the podium and everything. So that's cool.
And I think
He's a good fucking rider.
I think he'll be. Well, he's better than Vince Freeze.
Good fucking rider.
So I think he's gonna. I mean, dude, I think he'll have a really good Supercross season too. 2025.
Maybe one day he'll want to be friends.
No.
Kitchen goes 235 for 11th.
Just bummer day, dude.
Yep.
Bummer day.
What happened
Like,
in that second moto? I can't remember.
well, he crashed somewhere, but like where I was standing, I didn't see it, so I have no idea. And we haven't seen the broadcast, obviously. What a bummer day, dude! Because you look at how he ended that second moto or that first moto, and then you look at the second moto and all the shit that happened between that was going on up front, and you go, dude. Kitchen could have walked away with another overall.
Coulda
And could have
walked
ended up
away
with
with
4 out of the last 5, and you're like,
Yep.
oh boy.
Yep. So
Bummer day though, man. But like, he's got to have confidence going into SMX. Like
100%.
he's like, yeah, man, we're going back into the Supercross stuff. Like I didn't win the
Yep.
title, but I was better than everybody else. Like I got this. I got this. And I think in his mind,
he
should win.
Drew Adams goes 15-11 for 12th. Now the results don't actually tell the story there.
No.
Because he was super fast in qualifying, which again, that's kind of
Track's
jaded.
wide
he
open,
was
hold
B
it,
group,
yeah.
But that first moto, he was running like 5th.
He's gonna be good.
He was running 5th, and then he wadded it.
He's gonna be good.
Yep.
I have a lot of like you know me. I don't hype up a lot of these amateur kids lately, but like Drew Adams, I think he's gonna be really
I think
damn
he's
good.
gonna be real
I
good,
think he's
too.
gonna be really good.
Yep.
Like he's gonna be really good. We've already seen that he can ride Supercross.
Yep.
So that's not an issue, which is always the thing we're like, well, can they? I think he proved enough that he can ride Supercross.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, he's going to be really good. And depending on which, and let's just assume he's probably going to be on the East Coast. I would think so.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna have a lot of time if he doesn't. Hopefully, knock on wood, doesn't get hurt. But you could be looking at one of those kids and go, man, maybe he has a Hayden Deegan type season. You know,
Maybe.
I mean, dude, he's got all the talent, he's got the desire, he's got the training ethic. You know, he could do it, dude. So
Yep.
Oh.
So, Dylan Schwartz goes 14-16 for 13th. He's
kinda
randomly in the press conference this weekend.
they need to throw another Suzuki guy in there
Yeah, it was weird. Juju goes 8:30 for 14th.
after qualifying like 6th.
Yep. Savachi goes DNF 9th for 15th, which is rough. You're going to get a bike issue. First moto of your last race with the team.
You mean a bike issue?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Nick Romano goes 17-14 for 16th.
We'll probably be on a club bike next year.
More than likely. Pierce Brown's going to Star 10:38 for 17th.
Rode well the first moto.
Very Pierce Brown day.
Yep.
Talon Hawkins 18-15 for 18th. Cody Schock 33-13 for 19th.
Hit the ground the first moto before the on that little roller before the base of the booter table in the middle. Just fucking arrowed himself into the ground.
And Mark Phineas goes 2018 for 20th. And no 250 Michigan dudes made it.
Nope.
So that's been your 250 race recap.
We don't have a lot anymore. Like the only ones
Yeah.
that have been to all the nationals is Visker and Ethan Day. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man. I mean, wrapping
There we
up
go.
nationals.
That's another season.
Another season.
That's another season.
Anything else really to talk about?
Not really. We got SMX. Like I said, I'm going to try to do
All
a
right.
couple videos here talking SMX stuff.
Right now,
Okay.
as we speak, right now.
Okay.
Predictions for the first round winners for Charlotte or Concord or whatever the fuck we're calling it.
Ooh. Okay.
And you have to do right now. Like, not in 2 weeks, right now. And I don't care if it pains you to say Sexton. Right now.
I think Jet and Chase split, but I think Chase gets the overall because I think Chase will win the second one. Okay, we'll go with that.
See, I would actually
450s.
think you would flip that, but okay.
Nah, because I think Jet's going to come out like a bat out of hell, and then Sexton will figure out the pace he has to go after the first one.
Okay.
And then I think, I think Sexton's going to have a little bit of confidence from obviously outdoors, and he won Charlotte last year, and boom, and then Jet will be like, oh, okay, this is where I got to go, and then Jet will win the last 4.
You're such an asshat that you put that in there.
250s. Bro, I think Danger wins it, man. He's coming off this title. The number 1 plate's not going to be heavy.
Okay.
And he won there last year.
Well, he only won a moto last year. He won the first moto. He didn't win the second moto. He didn't win the overall.
Did he really?
Yeah. Remember, he won the first moto because he worked his way through the pack.
Who won the overall?
But I don't remember that. Probably won like 1-4 or 1-5 or something last year.
Yeah, he ended up third.
Yeah. Who did win the overall in Charlotte?
Shimoda.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With a 4-1.
Yeah.
Vial
Well,
went...
Joe's not going to be there this year.
Vial went 3-2. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hayden went 1-5 because that second moto is when he tipped over on that roller going over the wall. Yep.
So I think Chase is going to go 1-1.
Okay.
And 250s, I'll say Kitchen. I think Kitchen's going to win the overall.
Okay.
I don't know what it's going to be. Who's going to win what moto, but I think Kitchen's going to win it. Just because I think Kitchen is going to be coming in really pissed off that he didn't win even a title this year. And
Kitchen
I think
didn't do shit in the playoffs last year, by the way.
yeah, well, I think this is a different Levi Kitchen.
He went 7-8-5.
Yeah, I know.
And he went... Oof, hold on.
Yeah, it was bad.
He went 2-11 first round. Second round, he went...
He was terrible. He was like
6-12.
and then the Coliseum, he was just like nowhere to be found.
And then the Coliseum, he went 10-1.
Yeah.
So he did win one moto out of 6.
So I think Kitchen wins 250, and then Chase wins 450s. So yeah, I mean, going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the weather's good, because obviously that part of the country is being hammered with hurricanes and storms. It'd be interesting to see what the track looks like. But yeah, I think we'll have another good SMX 3 rounds. I think SMX is just going to have as much craziness as it did last year, just because I think there's a lot of dudes that are coming into it like I'm not really happy with how Supercross and Outdoors went.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, Levi, I think he's going to be coming in super pissed off that he didn't win even a title this year. Tom's probably not happy with the way outdoors went. RJ is just going to be RJ, and Deegan, he's out to prove a point all the time.
Yep.
Jet's coming back to prove a point. Kenny, like Eli's going to be like, hey, I'm still here. Hi, guys. Hey, I'm still here. And AP's got a lot of confidence. We're going to be missing some people, obviously, with Joe being gone, which is a bummer, but we're going to have Cooper Webb back. I am really afraid, though, for Hunter Lawrence. I think that he cooked himself, and I think SMX is not going to be good. So that's a bummer. But, man, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, SMX I think is going to be really, really good. The only thing that really will deter any of those rounds from being good is if at, we know it won't happen in Vegas, but if at Fort Worth or Charlotte, we get a mutter.
Yep.
Because I'm here to tell you, I think a hybrid, we've seen it in the past when Vegas, even though Vegas was never a hybrid track, obviously you start talking about a longer version Supercross track. I think a hybrid Supercross track, outdoor track, is not going to have good racing at all.
Probably not.
I think it'll be very, very one-lined.
Yep.
So, man, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. We get a week off, and then, so.
Yep. So, well, this has been show 282. Ironman / outdoor season wrap up. Thank you all who have watched here this year. Thank you to our current one member on YouTube. The rest of you, make sure to go check that out and join the members here. 99 cents, bro. Come on. Cut me a fucking break. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to our sponsors, Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, Worx, Pro, Flo Racing, and Holster Co. and Isaac Nelson Designs. Links in the description down below. And like I said, I'll be back with a few interim videos here in these couple of weeks since we got a weekend off. I'm going to do some breakdowns here of some SMX points and things like that. And then, we'll be back with show 283. I guess I should figure out co-hosts and stuff. Justin will be back to wrap up the full season here with the Vegas finale there. So make sure to check that out at the end. If you guys are Justin fans, he'll be back for the Vegas show. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you all in the next one. All right. And as per usual, guys, I ended the show, and I forgot that we were having Eric on here on Monday. And what I mean by forgot is I just forgot to do our sort of segue into here we are with our resident still pro-ish rider, Eric Grondahl. Hey, bud, how are you this week?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing fantastic, man. Doing fantastic. Okay, so what do you want to start with? You want to start with MXGP talk? You want to talk about your boy Chase winning the title? You want to talk about Deegan's weekend, or you want to talk about your boy Kenny riding the 250?
I want to talk about the fact that I was almost right with my VL prediction.
Oh, God, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, it was looking so good.
Oh,
and then
man.
he said he got tired.
Dude, he's cooked, bro.
I know.
He's cooked, man, which I don't blame him. It was hot.
You were probably sweating after that first moto, though.
I was sweating all
Damn,
day.
Eric called that. Eric said that.
Here we go. Here we go. Hey, look, you know what? It's fine. We can't all be winners all the time, all right? Sometimes
I didn't win. I said 1-1. He went like 1-4. He still won the overall, though. So,
yeah,
I guess that counts for something.
It's funny. I was saying in the show yesterday when I was talking to Justin, it's funny how kind of bad we think his outdoor season was, and he still finished second in points. So,
yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I guess then, what do you think, because this is a debate we were having all weekend, what do you think his SMX looks like here? Because obviously that was a pretty good last round for him there. That first moto was intense. He was on the move first moto there. He was flying. Does he continue this trend here and get better as we go through SMX and possibly really challenge for that title? Or
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to challenge Deegan and Kitchen for that. Hopefully RJ can get in there. I know he's starting quite a few points back, but I know the point system gets a little funky as you get deeper into it. So
triple points, it's fine.
Yeah, that's so much. That's too much, in my opinion. Way too much. But yeah, I think I think it should be some really good racing going into that, because I would say, yeah, those four, Vial, Kitchen, RJ, and Deegan. I would say between those four, it's going to be pretty fun to watch.
Okay. Yeah. That was kind of who Justin earmarked to. It was like, yeah, those four are going to be the guys here as we go through for the SMX stuff. So, and I'm going to do some breakdown videos this week, kind of talking like who's got what points going in there and where they kind of finished last year, and see if I can get anything right here. So, what do you think of that Drew Adams kid yesterday?
He looked like he was riding pretty good. I know his finishes don't necessarily reflect that, but I mean, he qualified like 5th or 6th?
Something like that, but that's a little skewed too, because he was B practice. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, but sometimes B practice is worse.
Well, it was muddy in the morning. Like, they watered the absolute piss out of that.
Okay, so it was probably an advantage then.
Yeah. And like in the motos, that first moto, he was looking real good. He was running, I think, 5th, 6th, something. He was right behind Kenny, I believe. And then he ended up going down in that little chicane right after the first turn there.
Okay.
I don't really know.
I missed the first motos. I watched the second motos, though.
Okay. What did you think of your boy Kenny there on the 250, man?
I thought he was going to do better.
So, to be honest, it kind of looked like he was very spicy, very, very spicy early on, especially in that first moto. And then it kind of looked like he went like, you kids are nuts. Like, y'all have at it. Like,
yeah. Yep.
I don't need to do that. So, but dude, that first moto, I thought he was going to the front there for a second, and his qualifying was insane. So I was trying to get videos of him, and he literally did like 2 fast laps between the 2 sessions. That was it.
Yep.
Every other time I like put the camera on him, he's rolling, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So then I went back to the pits. I was like, where did Kenny qualify? And they're like, he's second. I'm like, what? What do you mean he's second?
Yeah.
So.
No, he's gnarly in qualifying.
He is so good. I mean, I think his struggle was, and he kind of brought this up, line selection and carrying the flow with the 250 versus the 450. Yep. And they talked about it.
Yeah, you can't really get yourself out of trouble with the 250.
No, and he was trying to use too many inside lines in places, especially in that first moto, that it just wasn't working for him. But I'll tell you what, that start he had I mean, realistically, both motos just proved that, like, I don't really think there's anything wrong with that Suzuki.
Yeah. I mean, qualifying second, that's kind of proof enough right there.
Yeah, that's true, too. So, I don't know. There's a lot of people that are really downplaying that and saying that, like, oh, he can't ride the 250, or the 250 class is way harder than 450 or whatever. I don't know.
What?
There's like crazy things going on Facebook groups.
That's wild.
That are just
wild.
All over the place. And I'm like, you guys realize he did 2 fast laps, and qualified second, and then came out and was running, I think at one point, 3rd in the first moto before he just kind of backed it off and went, I don't got to go with these kids. Let them have it.
Yeah.
And then like the second moto, he basically started and finished where he started. Like, he started like 7th, 8th, and I think he finished, 9th or something? Like, it was...
No, I think he finished 11th.
Oh, okay. Well, let's put it this way.
I think he fell, though. I think he fell.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he crashed, because I remember looking at the screen, and Masterpool was kind of catching him, because Masterpool fell. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they're going to be battling. And then, like, the next time I looked at the screen, all of a sudden Kenny was gone and dropped like 20 seconds further back. So I'm like, I don't think Kenny got that tired, but I'm like, I also don't know how many laps went by. I'm like, he had to have crashed. So it's the only logical explanation.
Yeah, more than, like, I don't know. I haven't got a chance to watch the broadcast yet, so I don't know. Like, I didn't know that first moto that Deegan fell twice. I just thought he got a bad start and didn't go anywhere, and then to see they fell twice, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So,
yeah.
Which, speaking of him, that number 1 plate was heavy that first moto. So, but
Yeah.
I think it's I don't think it's a good look for these guys because, you know, the number one plate's always heavy the first time, but he's going to have the number one plate in 2 weeks when we go to Charlotte, and he's already got the heavy race out of the way. So I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. That's for sure. Because especially, I mean, crashing twice, that's pretty uncharacteristic of his season, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how he handles the pressure of having that number one permanently on his bike, and I don't know. Hopefully, it's some good racing.
We'll see. I always question these tracks. Like,
Yeah, I know.
like the Charlotte one, I'm kind of like, we saw that last year. Wasn't really that good. I'm not sure how much different you're going to do this year, but maybe. And then you got Vegas is basically the same thing. So, okay. And then Texas is going to be a lot like Chicago, which that was okay, I felt like. So,
Yep.
So hopefully Texas will be okay. I don't know. I wish I was going. Are you going to any of them?
Vegas.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I told Justin this weekend, I was like, man, I really wish we had Chicago again, because we'd heard rumors last year that we were going to have Chicago multiple years here, so.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, too. I heard that if any of them were staying, that it was going to be Chicago. And then it came out, and it wasn't Chicago.
Which is really annoying, because I was really pumped that Chicago was there.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 2-hour drive. It was perfect for me, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, and your boy RJ, he was okay yesterday. Or on Saturday.
He caught fire late. It was like with 5 minutes to go, all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start going now."
Did you coach him on his podium speech? Did you say, "Hey man, make sure you drop a little danger quote in there"? Because he said he wanted to be in the danger zone.
No, that was funny though. I was like, "Oh, there we go, RJ." Like, I like that.
This is what I like. Is like
somebody's got to give it back to him. That's for sure.
I mean, so it's funny. I like the Hymus and him going back and forth. Because as Duff said on Pulp a couple weeks ago, like. Yeah. Hymus is a rather boring kid, to be honest with you. Like, he's very straight-laced. What I mean by boring, he's very straight-laced and professional. So,
he reminds me a lot of Trey Kennard,
yes,
which makes me a fan of him.
Yes. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily sell tickets that well.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, this little thing he's got going with Deegan here, you know, where they're just making these little comments back and forth, and I don't really think there's any ill will between the two of them, but it just gives that little bit where the fans can be like, "Ooh, yeah, they hate each other," or whatever, even though they don't.
Yeah,
it's like that's fun. Like, yeah, keep going back and forth with the "I'm cooked," "he's cooking," like whatever. Like, let's fucking do it. That to me, that's awesome. Sells tickets, puts butts in seats. Like, I'm all about that life. And then if you get RJ in there doing it too, I just think that's freaking wonderful. Also.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Hopefully he can back it up.
Yeah. Well, look, man.
RJ rides in the danger zone, whether danger point's there or not. Though.
He puts himself in the danger zone every single time he rides. Which, you know, whatever. It's fine.
It's so funny because he just like, I'll be like, "Dude, you got so sketchy there," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like he doesn't even know half the time, and I'm just like, what? So if he ever tells you, he's like, "Oh man, I got really sketchy right there," you're like, "Yeah, you almost died right there." Like,
if he says it's sketchy, it's like way sketchier than you should think.
Yeah, then you know it's like very sketchy.
Oh man, I mean, that is one thing he said that I think this weekend somewhere of like, yeah, I guess I just don't know how to back it down at all. And we're like, yes, we all have seen this for years, RJ. We know. You and Jordan Smith, same. Like, we just don't know how to back it down. We're either hitting the deck or we're going a gazillion miles an hour. Take your pick. So, which you know, it gives us something to talk about, I guess. So,
yeah, I mean, RJ has definitely gotten better.
Yes,
I mean, he got better enough to where he won a title. So, I think that's pretty good.
I mean, is he better at it, or did God just like bless him with his own hand and be like, "Here you go, buddy. You're not going to hit the deck that many times this year."
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the answer is, but it's one of those two. So
Yeah. Yep.
because I mean, technically, he did still hit the deck this year. Because didn't he fuck himself up in Supercross at some point?
I don't remember. Supercross was so long ago.
I know. I don't remember anything. I don't remember 3 races ago. So,
I do know that he got screwed at Paula though.
yeah, because he didn't
Because there was like
boulder.
there was like a big ass boulder in the track that I forget who he said it was. It was one of the PC guys was in front of him, and he said that he was just coming through the corner, and all of a sudden this big ass boulder just fell in the line, and there was absolutely nothing he could do.
Awesome, super. You gotta love California, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a Glen Helen type thing. Like what happened?
Yeah, our press day with no flaggers.
Yeah. What happened? Well, I hit this 130-foot triple, and there was a quad sitting on the landing. It was fine.
Yeah.
No big deal. There was no flagger. I don't know why the quad was there. Could have been a UTV. I'm not really... Dude, it could have been Geo Metro. We're not really sure. But for some reason, there was something with 4 wheels I hit. Or a boulder fell out of the sky into the middle of the track just randomly, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Welcome to California tracks, everybody. Have a nice day. Okay, 450s there. Did
450s.
Did you see Aaron Plessinger taking credit for Vial and Sexton winning this week?
I did. That was pretty funny.
Were you laughing out loud too as you were watching it? Because I was.
Yes, I was. It's like, this is hilarious.
This is exactly what I would think AP would say.
Yeah,
And I like how Chase is like, it's unconfirmed that you were faster than us. And he goes, no, I'll confirm it. I was faster than you. It's totally confirmed. Just believe me. I am the truth. And I'm like, yep, this is the guys that we love right here. We need more of this, please. So,
no, AP's awesome.
Dude, he is one of a kind, man. He is one of a kind.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
I think he's going to MXoN.
You think?
Tomac pulled out.
Really?
Yep. Tomac went to the AMA, I guess. I got literally this sent to me right before we jumped on here. I guess Tomac went to the AMA yesterday or on Saturday after the race and said, look, I appreciate you guys considering me, and I was really trying, but AP is just way back. And I'll be honest, dude, AP this weekend, every time I saw him on the track, flying and looked fast. Not just like, they're all fast guys.
Right.
Flying. And I'm just like, wow, what the fuck got into him? So,
and I think he needs that redemption shot too, because both the teams that he's been on, he never really performed, I would say.
No.
So,
no, he definitely shit the bed last year.
It would definitely be good.
The big question turns into who goes on the 250 now.
Well, it's got to be Deegan.
I heard he was only going, and to be honest, I kind of was eavesdropping this weekend. And I heard it from a pretty reliable person that he was only going if Tomac was going.
So that's what I heard too, and that's what I heard happened last year as well.
So now with him not going, now I go, okay, so who are we taking now?
Well, Hymas has a blown out ACL.
Yeah. But
so I feel like that's a no-go.
I don't know. He's been riding pretty well.
I feel like it's got to be. Well, do we know? Is Kawasaki willing to send anyone anymore? Or is that still just no every year, no matter what? So
the last thing I knew, it was nope, absolutely not. We do not support that race. However, I heard last week that they were in talks of possibly sending Kitchen if Deegan wasn't gonna go.
Yep.
So, okay, but then again, too, how's Kitchen gonna react on that stage like that? I don't know. He seems to have himself pretty figured out. I think he's just so start dependent
that is what worries me a little bit.
Yes, that's where I'm concerned. I mean, dude, really, I just want to see Eli and Deegan go, because Eli Deegan chase, super sick, super awesome, and I'm just like, that'd be great. I feel like that's our best chance of winning.
I just am so mind blown that they won't send just Deegan. Like, what is the problem here?
Eric, it costs a lot of money to go to these things. And
I know that. But I don't know. I mean, I've never been put in that position, obviously. But to me, it's just like, if you're like kind of painting yourself as Captain America and like all this stuff, and it's just like, okay, then you pay for your flight and go. And like, I'm sure that the team will cover the cost, or somebody will cover the friggin' cost of shipping a bike and mechanic and some parts out there. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, I don't know. That kind of is a little upsetting. I know that there's a lot of moving parts, but it's like, if you're going to be the guy, then you should be there no matter what.
Yeah. I will say I was really looking forward to him going, because what I've heard, and I think it was pretty confirmed the other day, so Chase is going to race the Spanish GP there at the end of the year to kind of warm up for Designations, is what I heard the other day. That was pretty confirmed.
That would be sick. You know, he's always talked about doing that too. I remember him and his dad, they were trying to get the Geico team to let them do the Mexico GP.
Oh, cool.
And then I think Glenn Helen was after it 1 year.
Okay.
But the team said no. And then they were trying to let him go do, or they were trying to convince him to let him go do like the first 2 GPs at the beginning of the year before Supercross, before he turned pro.
Oh.
And that was very clearly a no, which that makes a lot of sense, because it was in friggin' Qatar on the other side of the planet. But either way, I know that Chase has wanted to do one of those GP races for a while, so that would be really awesome if that's the case.
Well, that's what I heard, and then I'd heard that if Eli and Deegan were going to go, that they were going to go do it too, which I was like, well, this is going to be sick, because like I don't really care.
That would
like
be insane.
Like, I've watched Eli beat these guys, so like whatever, it'll be cool to see Chase do it no matter what. But I was like, but I want to see, as you said, as you coined it, Captain America there. Take the danger zone worldwide and freaking run these 250 dudes. You know, that was a bench racing topic for the weekend of like, how would he do over there against these guys? You know, does he beat DeWolf? Does he beat does he beat the Coonan brothers? You know, like where does he stack up? And I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah, I think between like if DeWolf's been on it pretty much all year long, so I think those two would battle for sure. And then I think Lucas Coonan, depending on how he's gelling with the track that day, he would definitely be in the mix with the both of them.
Yeah.
He's someone I'm really excited to see come over here.
Oh, the Coonan brothers?
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. I'm interested to see DeWolf come over here, because I just feel like he's got a shit ton of style that's going to translate.
Is that confirmed? I've heard that, but
he keeps talking about it, bro. He keeps talking about he's coming. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's one I feel like that would not be a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
He's wild, and being wild and going to Supercross, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary for sure.
Yeah, I think with all 3 of them, I think it's been delayed till 26 anyway. is what I've heard. I've heard it go back and forth with the Coonan brothers coming next year, but now I'm hearing it's delayed till 26, and I think part of it is because of this whole shakeup with the Gas Husky thing. I think everybody's kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with that before things start getting confirmed.
The Coonan brothers were going away from the KTM group as a whole.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me either. There seems to be a few bikes at Honda there, that seem to be...
That's what I had heard.
seem to be pretty open, so...
Yeah. But I do think it's not... Yeah, it's 26, though. It's not next year.
Yeah, well, so I had heard 26, and then I heard it go back to, they're coming next year, and now it's back to, they're not coming till 26. So
no, I'm pretty positive it's 26, because I believe Lucas Coonan will be on KTM next year at the GP.
I think I've heard that too. That was how because things were going to move here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Husky is gone, for good.
Okay. That would make sense. There's interesting things happening with the Husky brand. For example, one of their old trailers is the amateur team trailer at the race for the Combine this weekend. I mean, they had a full-blown semi-trailer with all the amateur kids pitted out of it. So there was an old Husky trailer that had been debadged from Rockstar Husky. So,
so
I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts with that I'm not fully sure what's happening yet. I just know
next year is supposed to be the last year.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I don't know what's going to happen after that, but
every time I think I have it figured out, I quit. I just it changes. So
I mean, I've heard that they're focusing on woods and electric stuff.
Yep.
So they're kind of pulling back away from moto.
Yep.
And we'll see that with no MXGP support next year, and then 26 there will be no support here.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which sucks, because I like the look of the Husky bike. And why do we need to keep gas? Honda is already a red bike. We don't need another red bike.
I think gas will transition to white eventually.
You think?
Yeah, probably. They'll do it for a branding purpose.
I feel like they need to. They can't, it just doesn't make sense to have the same color as another brand.
Yeah, I think that'll get and this is, I don't have any information. I'm just thinking with a business mindset. They'll transition away from the red color because number one, Honda, number two, Ducati's going to come over and be Corsa red anyway. So instead of being the third brand that's red, and especially too because they're going to try to differentiate to a what do you want to call it? Be the entry level, which is what they've been. So. Yeah, I think we'll see him transition away, which will be interesting to see here. Like I said, I'm super interested to see how all of this works because I've heard so many things of they're going down to one semi and it's going to be like Ryder D on one coast, RJ on the other coast, and then you've got Barsha and Stu are going to be out of the same truck too, and the truck's just basically going to be split or something. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
I've heard that same thing, that the truck was going to be split, which is very weird to me. I don't know why they wouldn't just do one truck and then the other truck. Just put a 250 and 450 guy.
Okay, so never mind. Back up, reverse here. Never mind. It's not that the truck, it's kind of going to be split. So what I've heard is that the hospitality truck is the old race truck. So they're going to debadge that and make that the gas truck because the Troy Lee truck is coming off the road here after SMX, obviously.
Yep.
And so one of the Husky trucks will turn into the gas truck. The other one will still be Husky. And I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work beyond that. But that's what sorry, that was the last thing that I heard. Like I said, it changes every stinking week. I hear new things.
Yeah, no, I had also heard, though, that they were literally going to be half of it was going to be painted gas, half of it was going to be painted Husky.
Well, why would we not do that? I mean, we're already a huge kerfuffle here. Let's just keep kerfuffling it more. This is...
Yeah.
This is insanity. So... But a team that's not going away, the KTM team. So
Yep.
how happy are you for your guy Chase there?
Very happy. Very, very happy. Hearing that and that after first moto title hangover where you're not thinking or whatever, that didn't happen to him. He went out there and fucking waxed them.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
So
did.
that was friggin' cool to see. Like that's why we like Chase. Like he just wants to win and he wants it every time, no matter what.
Yeah, but you know what? There's this big looming monster coming back in 2 weeks that just is scary. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle between those two. That's for sure.
I think it will too. We had this discussion this weekend, and I'm going to just keep referencing this weekend because, of course, me and Justin spent 7 hours in the car together, so we spent a lot of time talking moto stuff. I think in order for Chase to maintain the confidence he has to, out of the 6 motos for SMX, he has to split them with Jet. If they go 3-3, no matter who wins, because however the other motos go, but if they at least go 3-3, I think he maintains confidence. If Jet wins 4 or more, I think he's in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I agree with that. I like to think that won't happen, but we will see. That's for sure.
I will say, I went out on a limb and said that I do think they're going to split motos in Charlotte. And I think Chase is going to win the overall because I think Chase is going to win the second one.
Yep.
But that's about as far as I'm going. Then I think we're back to the Jet show.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely going to be pretty telling of how much Jet was milking that shoulder injury before he ended up. What did he break? His thumb or his wrist?
Nope, thumb. Same thing as Eli and Webb. So.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see how much, Chase was really beating him, or if Jet was telling the truth about his shoulder bothering him so much.
Yep. This will be our sign. I don't know. It's going to be, I'm excited to see it. Let's put it this way. I'm real excited to see it. So,
yeah, me too. I think it'll be good battling. They're both very, very close in speed.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So one last thing here before we hop off. Did you watch any of the GP?
I have not gotten to watch it yet. I looked at the results, but that's as far as I've gotten. I was at a race all weekend.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So, all right, you want to talk about it or you want to wait?
Let's wait.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else trip your trigger this weekend?
I'm trying to think of something. Well, shoot. If any of you listeners out there live in the New England area or the Northeast, you gotta come check out the MX 207 main event next year. It was an awesome weekend. We had a lot of fun there.
Did you ride or you just ran the booth all weekend?
No, I was just running the booth with my buddy.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, we were there selling gear, having fun, just hanging out, watching. There was a pretty stacked pro class, like some of the best battling I've seen all year.
Super cool.
I was like, wow. I was like, that was fun to watch.
Super cool. So,
yep.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on again this week here. We will, I think we're off for the next week here or so, but we'll get you back on here for the, for SMX round 1 here. So.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problemo, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Yeah, later.